What's up, gamers? Koobs here. Welcome to the video, and thanks so much for stopping by the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a new demo for a game called Cairn. This game's set to release this November, and I really loved my time spent with it, so I wanted to make a quick video sharing this with you all so that you can maybe check it out for yourself or wish list it for this November. The first thing that I typically do is I hop into the settings just to kind of see what some of the accessibility options are. I really like what they've got going on with this one. Two of the settings that I have turned on for the start here are highlight limbs and holds feedback. And as we go, I'll kind of show you what those two settings are doing for us. We're going to jump into the story. We've got 3 difficulty options here for the full release. Now the demo, we're only going to have the Alpinist difficulty, which is kind of the balanced or the normal difficulty, but there is an Explorer option available, which is going to be more story driven, and it'll have a kind of a rewind mechanic available and an autosave. So that's going to be more for, the casual player base. And then we've also got kind of a hardcore experience here as well, where we have a permadeath run, which is going to remove any sort of manual saving. It's going to remove the pittons that we can use that we'll go over shortly, and it just kind of makes the game more difficult. And I think that that's going to be very exciting to work up to experiencing for yourself. So our demo starts us off in the climbing gym here. We've got 8 numbered walls. A couple of them we've got an A and a B. So there's about 10 different practice walls here for us to climb on and kind of get our bearings. I'm going to head over here to climbing wall 3 to kind of give us a little glimpse of what climbing looks like, but also kind of show off those systems that I turned on in the settings menu. You can see that my limb is highlighted here, so I can clearly see that I'm controlling my left arm, and then I can go to my right arm and my right leg and my left leg. Now the game has an automatic limb selection system by default. I think that this is pretty good system. It's definitely intuitive, but one of the things that it does is it kind of restricts your control as the player, because it says you have to move this limb. So right now it's telling me I have to move my right leg, but let's say I wanted to move my right arm in that situation. Well, I wouldn't have been able to, because it's telling me to move my right leg, or for right now it's telling me to move my right arm. But what if I wanted to move my left arm instead? I would have to place my right arm, and then the game would choose my left arm and allow me to select it. So that's one of the things that I do like about the manual climbing system, is that it still uses the automatic system, but it gives you the option and it gives you the control to manually select your limb. I also like the holds feedback. It'll let me know, you see that square comes around my foot. That means I have a good hold. So when you have a good hold, you can be a little bit more confident about things, especially if you have multiple good holds. But that setting is not on by default. That'll be turned on by default for the beginner difficulty, but it's something that you, the player, will have to turn on manually if you want this feedback for your playthrough. We're getting close to the top. It's been nice and smooth. And then once we get up here, it's going to give us the option to place a climbing pin. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and it's going to give us this quick time event. And we time it, and we place our climbing pin. Now, in the settings menu, we can turn off that quick time event. So we can have it set up to just automatically place the climbing pin when we tell it to do so. And so I'll have a clip here that we can kind of see that in action. So that's another accessibility option if you're maybe not somebody who wants to deal with the stress of having to perfectly time your climbing pin placement. Then you can just kind of deactivate that setting and make that a little bit more accessible for you, which I think is really nice as well. I'm going to take a second to go over the inventory system here because I really like the way that things are designed, and just the overall art style that they're going with. I think that this climbing gym just looks really cool, and the there's a lot of like world building and storytelling going on in the environment here. I can approach these and I can look at these different posters and, you know, get different information about things. Small ad for climbing lessons, so we can kind of maybe piece together that this is like maybe our main character is a climbing instructor, different things like that. But we can come over here to these vending machines, and we can actually engage with the vending machines. I found that these energy bars are like the best bang for your buck. So I'm going to pick up a couple of those and maybe get an energy drink. This energy drink is going to give me like a boost to my grip strength for a period of time. So I think that they've got some really cool elements when it comes to the survival mechanics and the inventory system. The inventory system in particular I really like because it's all in the backpack. So we have this really wonderful, really user-friendly and fun inventory experience here. We can shake up our backpack so our things kind of go bouncing around. And we can see what everything is. We've got some chocolate bars here, some pocket change, some bottles and noodles. Really just love this interface. I think that this is really great. It gives the player all the information that they need to know, and it's really, you know, super accessible. So I think that that's top notch. I was thinking about climbing wall 8, but I think that this will just be a little bit more fun to just climb this wall here. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to hop into the settings, and I'm going to turn off the highlight limbs and the holds feedback, but I'm going to turn on the manual limb selection. Now with manual limb selection, we have a few options. We have stick, which means that we can move our left thumbstick in the direction of the limb that we want to select. We have dial, which is pretty similar, but it'll kind of lock the limbs into specific quadrants. And that's the one that I prefer personally. We've also got buttons, which will assign a button to the limbs, and we have rear buttons. So that'll, again, just a different button that's assigned to the limbs. But my preference has been dial. So that's what I'm going to set this to here. And then we're going to go ahead and approach this wall, and I'll kind of give you an idea of what the dial system looks like. So when you're climbing, you can hold R1 once you've activated the manual limb selection system. You can hold R1 and it'll bring up this little stick figure here. And now I can select each of the different limbs. And I just think that this system's super intuitive. It makes sense to me. The limbs that you're selecting are always in those positions. So your right arm is always going to be, you know, the right upper quadrant. Your left is going to be the left upper quadrant. I think that that just makes the most sense to me. And again, like I mentioned, the automatic limb selection system is still active here. It's still in place. It's still giving me the next limb up that it's saying here, you should probably go with this limb next. But then I have that added freedom of taking a moment and saying, hey, I want to select this particular limb and I want to be able to place it here, right? And so I think that that's really great. I think that as you get more comfortable playing the game and with your climbs, that having the manual limb selection system activated is going to make the most sense for you. But yeah, this has just been a fantastic demo. I think it's a really great look at what the game is looking to do. I think that for most people, they're going to be able to spend an hour or two with this demo and they're going to know that this is either for them or it's not. Here it's prompting us again to place a piton, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. And then the way that these climbing pittons work is they're going to act basically as a mini checkpoint for us along our climb. So now that we have this climbing pitten placed, we can actually press the X button. We can go into our rappel mode. I could go all the way down if I wanted to. I can take a break, walk around the climbing gym, maybe hit the vending machine. I can come back as long as I don't recall my climb bot. I can come back, I can climb up back to my checkpoint, and then I can continue my climbing progress from there. Really great system. I think that it makes sense. It's intuitive. It like really well designed in my opinion. And then when we think about those difficulty options that were there at the very beginning, if we were choosing the free solo climb, we wouldn't have access to those climbing pittons, so we don't have those checkpoints along the way. That adds a little bit of, high stakes to our expedition. But I think that it's just a really great system that makes sense, and everything kind of clicks really well. But back to what I was saying regarding, whether or not this game will be for you. I think that if you have the opportunity to spend an hour or two with the demo, it'll click with you, or you'll just kind of be like, hey, you know what, not for me. And I think that that's really great. That's one of the great things about having a demo available, especially for a game like this that's a little bit different. I gotta lock in a little bit here. Getting a little bit dicey. We can also refill our stamina by holding triangle while climbing. So if you're feeling secure with a couple of your hand and foot placements, you can regain some stamina if you need to. But yeah, I think that it's a really great look at what they're trying to deliver with this experience. I'm getting a little bit nervous here, so I'm going to go ahead and slap a climbing pitten in. Oh, and we missed our placement, so it says it got twisted. So that might be that our climbing pitten is now in need of repair. And so there's different mechanics in the game for like repairing things and for managing your food intake, your water intake, different things like that. But yeah, I think really wonderful demo. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of replayability to it as well. I think that I'm probably going to come back to this demo a few times, before the release of the full game, which I believe is set for November, beginning of November. I think it's November 5th. I'm not sure if this is going to be a PlayStation exclusive or if it'll be available on other consoles. But I'm playing on PlayStation 5, and it's been a really great experience so far. I'm pretty much getting to the top here, so I think this is going to be a good time to wrap things up and send you on your way. I didn't want to spoil too much of what the demo has available. There's a lot to see here, a lot to sink your teeth into, a lot of replayability, and I think that's really wonderful. It gives you a really good glimpse and feel for the game, so that you know ahead of time if this is going to be something for you. I'm hoping for a price point of maybe $25 to $30 for this one, but I might pay upwards of $40 for it, because it's something that really just kind of clicks with me. There's something kind of relaxing, kind of comforting about the slow and steady pace of climbing. It gets intense sometimes. There's certainly some frustration and some stress that can build up, but for me it's kind of one of those comfy games, so I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. But again, thanks so much for stopping by. Just wanted to give this nice little gem a little bit of a spotlight. Maybe it's something that you can check out for yourself. I have been and always will be Coobs. Peace and love to you, gamers.